it's your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for 90 Day Fiance the Other Way. This is season 2, episode 6. I hope you all are doing well. I think I already said that. But I know I'm looking real plain about the face and everything else, but I got some semi-manual labor to do, so I decided to keep it real comfortable today so I could get it done. Okay, so let's talk about what happened on the episode. And let's do so as quickly as we can. We'll start it out with Kenneth and Armando because they're easy and they're the couple I think we like the most. So, my favorite couple anyway. So, we have Kenneth. He is continuing his journey into Mexico. I think it's going to take him 4 or 5 days. It's 11 hours worth of driving a day. Let me tell you, baby, my car would have been tapped 5 hours into day 1. I do not drive my car long distance anymore. My baby has had enough. But that is a lot of driving, a lot of miles, a lot of putting in the work. You know, that's a lot. And, you know, that's over 50 hours worth of driving. So over a course of days. So he's getting it done. He's going to get over to Mexico to be with Armando. Meanwhile, Armando's taking care of business, getting the place secured, finishing up his last dealings with moving and talking to his family. There was more tears involved. The most beautiful conversation, though, was the conversation that he had with his daughter. So the way that Armando was talking and the way that the episode was playing, y'all know they have that music, so you're very tense and you don't know how it's going to go. I thought that the daughter was going to be upset that they were moving and that the daughter was not going to want to move and that she was going to cry or maybe even possibly bring up her mother. Like, I really didn't know what was going to happen. You guys, when that daughter got excited and said that she loved Kenny and she couldn't wait for them to move in together, she was excited about having 2 dads. Honey, you talking about somebody was emotional. I almost had a little tear for real come out because I was so not expecting her to say that. She was just so happy and so innocent and just hugged her daddy and said how much she loved Kenneth and Kenneth was always nice to her. And I was just like, oh, how can you be mad? I mean, I know people got their opinions, but look how happy this little girl is. Like, oh my gosh, it's just beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. So the little girl's packing because she ready to get out of Mama's house too. She ready to get on with her new family, and she's excited about it. Meanwhile, Kenny is with his dog. The dog is 15 years old. I'm surprised that dog made it through the journey because that's up in age for a dog, most definitely. But you know, he looked tired, but he made it. Although weary, he did make it. So I think things are gonna go well with Armando and Kenneth. It's Kenny. It goes back and forth when they say his name on the show. But I think they're going to end up doing well. It's just all about navigating their relationship with living in Mexico, of course, which I'm sure we'll hear more about. All right, let's see what else. Who's the next easiest couple to go to? I would say Submit and Jenny. It was nice to see Submit and Jenny happy and waking up next to each other and excited about being together without the noise, the outside noise of both of their families. That was actually a relief to see. I like that Jenny is very respectful about emerging into the Indian culture. She's kind of rolling with it and learning as she goes along, and I really appreciate that. And trying to kind of just be a good sport about it. I really like that about Jenny. There was no hanky-panky the night before. She was just so tired, so no magic happened. I said, I don't really think we want to talk about the magic. I didn't want to imagine the magic, but I'm sure it gets magical. And so then they go out. They had them some tea. Now, y'all, what was going on the streets with the street fight? What was going on? Did they do that to show us what kind of neighborhood they were living in? Like, I didn't even understand the purpose of them filming it, but child, it wouldn't even have probably bothered me. I probably just been looking like, you know, I might have yelled out World Star. Actually, I wouldn't have yelled out World Star because, you know, that's not my people. But you know, out here, you might see a healthy scrap or two. So anyway, there was a fight that they wanted to show us. They go out to get some tea. They sit at the park. They're having conversations again, and Jenny wants to know about these divorce papers. Submit is annoyed that she is asking for the papers again. I said, you annoyed. You the one that need to get a divorce. I'm sure you wouldn't take this behavior off for her if she wasn't all the way divorced. So He says that he lives in India and there's a process and there's court paperwork and it's really hard to get proof of anything before it's finalized. But we can go up to the courts. And Jenny said, you know what? I would like that because this time Jenny's standing up for herself this time. From my understanding in the past, Jenny wasn't all that confident. She wasn't all that vocal. She didn't really speak up when she knew things were wrong. I don't think Jenny's going to leave regardless of what she finds out. If she has stuck around for the lies Submit told from the very beginning that he was a distinguished Englishman, I believe she's going to stay around even if he's not fully divorced, and she's just going to be understanding of the time that it takes to get divorced in India. Because y'all see next week when the man said it's been taking him 4 years to get a divorce, she said, huh? She said, what? I don't think she's going back. I think she wants to be there, and I think Jenny is just, I don't think she wants to look foolish going back home to her daughters either. So I think she's going to do what she can to make this work. But it was nice to see them together and happy. I did like that part at least. So we move on to, let's go to Tim and Melissa, I believe is the name. And it is Tim, right? I don't know why. Because I got names wrong in my Married to Medicine video. I'm sorry, y'all. I was saying Lena and not Leah. Okay, Tim. So Tim's supposed to be moving to Colombia. His mom is helping him pack. The mom is very nervous about him moving to Colombia. Wants to make sure that he's doing it for the right reasons. Also wants to make sure she's a little concerned that Melissa might be a little controlling. Might want things to always go her way. May want Tim to always please her, even though she may not necessarily be doing that in a relationship. So she's a little concerned that the relationship might be controlling and one-sided on Melissa's end. Tim's concern is that he knows that he has to give a lot. He knows that he has to prove a lot to Melissa given the fact that he cheated. He still feels really guilty about it, and he's not sure if Melissa is going to be able to 100% let it go. That is also his mother's concern. But he's packing up and he's willing to do it. And the mom and the friend, or like mom and the aunt, somebody's going to come a couple of days later to see how he's doing and get him acclimated and, you know, all of that. When he goes to a therapist, his therapist is, he goes to the therapist that was recommended to him by Melissa. Melissa recommended that he go to therapy after she found out that he was cheating. Now, I'm not saying that that's a bad idea. We could all use some mental health therapy, but if somebody cheated in a relationship, well, I was about to say you might go to couples therapy, but I don't know. Something about that is interesting. I don't know. Something about that whole setup is interesting to me. But do you think you would go to couples therapy, or am I looking at this wrong? But anyway, he went to therapy. Melissa told him he needed to go, so he went. And when he gets to therapy, the therapist is just asking him questions about his vulnerability, about telling her the truth. He said he does need to be more vulnerable. He does need to tell her the truth more. However, he kind of holds back from Melissa because Melissa's been holding back. And if Melissa's not giving him what he needs, then he's not able to be vulnerable with her. He's not able to say the I love yous, and he actually needs that from her in order to be more vulnerable. This kind of reminded me of the stuff that was going on at Married at First Sight, except of course nobody was cheating. But Katie was doing allegedly. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of that, the whole vulnerability issue. But the therapist tells him that he needs to completely go all in. And he says that he understands he needs to prove that he has changed, but it's hard to prove it in the midst of not getting what you need. But he understands why he's not getting what he needs, and he feels guilty about it. So there's just this like circle of emotions that's going on with Tim, and I actually understood exactly where he was coming from. A lot of times when you when there's infidelity in your relationship, or when somebody does something wrong, the other person forgives you, but it's really, really hard to forget. And so when you're the person that did the offense, you spend a lot of your time trying to prove that you've changed and that you are in love and that you are different. And it feels like it's not reciprocated. So then you start resenting the person, and then neither one of you can move forward. So it just turns into a mess, which is why infidelity is so difficult in a relationship. So it's like on one end you're not getting what you need, but on the other end you can't expect a person to trust you tomorrow, just because you've all decided to work on it. So that's why I wonder, would it be better for them to be in couples therapy, because it's not just one person that needs to make some adjustments to move on past the point of the infidelity and where they are now. Even though Melissa wasn't involved in the infidelity, to move on together, maybe they need to both do the counseling together so they can. I don't know. That seemed to make more sense to me, but I know they're long distance. But child, they've been making everything else work long distance, so something tells me couples counseling could work as well. But yeah, just I got where he was coming from, but I also get what the therapist was saying when she said you do have to go all in. You can't have one foot in and one foot out when it comes to this thing. If you really want it, if you really care, you do have to go all in. Says that he can't hold on to his job here, kind of, just in case he doesn't find something there. So he seems to be having a lot of fears with moving to Colombia, and I think a lot of his fears are around, what if I do all of this and it doesn't work and I don't get what I need? And that's something we ask ourselves in relationships every single day. Every single time we take a risk, I think a lot of us ask ourselves that, what if I don't get such and such in return? But it is called a risk for a reason. So I got what he and the therapist were saying. That was actually very interesting. I just think couples therapy would make more sense. So we move on. The next person that we have is, I got all the easy people out the way, so I guess we'll go ahead and we'll jump straight into Ariela and Benny. So is she calling him baby? That's his rap name or something, right? I'm not calling him that. His name is Benny. So that's what I'm calling him. So it's time for her to get off of her flight. He's there with flowers. He's secured lodging. So at least he's done something that, a lot of other people haven't been able to do upon first meeting. So he's got that done. And he got the flowers for her. The flowers was only $1.50. I said, okay, I would have probably got a whole bunch of flowers. I would have looked like the man. But that I know the exchange rate is different. So she gets there and they are happy. It's smiles, it's tears, it's hugs all around. Mom gets hugs. Everybody was very warm. It's a very warm environment, very loving. That part was cute. I like that. Then they get into, the Uber or whatever that was, the car service. They're going to drop the mom off at the hotel. Good idea. Jahan should have did the same thing with his mother-in-law. They're going to drop the mama off at the hotel, and she has trusted Miniam to find the accommodations for them, to get the apartment. She has told him what she needed. She's given them a list. They drop old birthing kit off, and then they head on over to the hotel. She's going to come see the house a little bit later. So, y'all, when they get to this house, when they pull up to this house, the front of the house looked like the used tire place that I go to out here in Texas. They pull up, and then there's like a little door. I didn't even notice the door. So they pull up, they go inside the house. They immediately are in their bedroom, so it must be like a one-room unit. And I don't know whose stuff that is. I guess whoever was there before. And then Ariela's reaction. Now, I'm not really sure how to read Ariela, but she was smiling while being upset. She looked like a psychopath. She was like, oh my gosh, I hate it. I hate it in here. It's horrible. I love you so much, but it's horrible. It's just horrible. I was cracking up. That must be her coping mechanism. But Benyam, what I like about Benyam is that he takes accountability. Benyam is just like, I told you I was going to do it. I said I was going to take care of y'all, and I'm disappointed in myself. I shouldn't have picked this place. It should have been a lot better. I didn't even see, where did they have a bath? Where was the shower? Or, child, I don't know. But I saw the toilet. The bathroom did look like it could use, some grout cleaner and a good paint and possibly the removal of black mold. I don't know what all was going on in the bathroom, but it wasn't the nicest place. But Benyam did say that it's Ethiopia. It's not America, so it's never going to be up exactly to the standards that you probably are used to having, because we do live a little differently out here. And I do think Ariela recognizes that, because she mentioned that she stayed in some rough places before, so she gets that part. But because they have a family now, and it's about the family unit and the baby, it does have to be a certain level of safety. If there's mold in there, that's not gonna work for no baby. Now I think we can all agree to that. So if there's mold and stuff going on, they do have to live in a different place. But Benny says, just give me a chance. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna find better. Benny you, that nightclub dancing thing, I don't know, you might have to do something else. I ain't telling you to do nothing strange for no change, because I wouldn't want you getting locked up or nothing like that. But you might have to think of something else that you can do to start bringing in a little bit more income. Might have to put down the album for a little bit. Hey, what's up, everybody? I am back. My video cut off at the 16-minute mark, so it's a little later in the evening and my lighting is not as good. I'm not really sure why it did that, but hopefully I can remember where I left off. I believe it was with Ariela and Benny. And Ariela did not like the house. She was smiling like a psychopath. I think I told y'all that. And she hated it. She really did not like it. And they're going to have to find somewhere new to live. Like I said, I like that Benny took accountability, that he recognized that this was not the place that they needed to be raising their child in, and that he was going to do the work to find the improved area, understanding that they're in Ethiopia, but finding something a little better for their child to live in. And I like that in Benny. I believe that she is a writer. I don't know if she has any money to contribute as well. They may have to put something in together to find a nicer home. But either way, Benny, he feels bad and he wants to find a better place for them to live. I am interested in what it's going to be like when good old birthing kit, the mom, sees that place that they're living in. I have a feeling that things are going to go a little bit differently once the mom gets involved, and we may not be seeing Ariela there anymore. And one of the things that I'm noticing, actually, let's go ahead and jump to Devin and Jahan before I say this. So Devin and Jahan are having it out. The mom got there. She didn't like the place. It was in the ghetto. She felt like it looked horrible. She's fussing at Jahan in the street. Even the parents are saying this is a disaster. This looks terrible. This area doesn't look safe. And Jahan knows that he is royally effed up. I was a little bit confused as to what's really going on here. Did Devin pay the money for the place and it was up to Jahan to go and look at it and make sure it was okay, and he did not do so? Or did Jahan pay for the place? Because towards the end of their discussion at the end of the episode, it sounded as if Jahan was just supposed to check it out and that Devin paid for it. But I'm not sure. So anyway, he comes in there and he takes the baby, puts the baby with the mom, because now they need to have a discussion. Mind you, Jahan's been gone for 2 hours. All right, he's been gone for 2 hours to go get his wallet. Now the place isn't terrible, but the place is very, very small. There's no living room. The kitchen, if you breathe wrong, all y'all in there passing out. It's a very, very tight space, but going off of what Ariela had in Ethiopia, it looks like a luxury apartment. But they go outside and Devin expresses that she's upset and she's frustrated because this is not what Jahan told her. You told me that you had it handled. You don't have it handled. This is not where I want to raise our children. And Jahan says that he tried, he attempted, he knows he messed up, but he's been doing everything. He's been paying for everything, and I paid for your move, and and Devin is just like, no, you didn't. You did not. That's not true. And I'm like, now, Jahan, did you think she was going to go along with it? Like, why are you sitting there acting like you paid for everything if you did not indeed pay? Maybe he paid half. I don't know. But Devin is like, no, you haven't paid for anything. I've been doing it all. And Jahan says, well, you've been doing it all, but I plan on taking up the rest of it. And I'm just like, that is not a relief, but okay. So then they start getting confused as to what Jahan is trying to say. So they use the translator. Baby, what they get that translator involved for? The translator ruined the argument. The translator escalated the argument when it was supposed to be helping, because the translator lady, she doesn't talk with any type of tone or expression in her voice. So when you listening to the translator lady, you assume that the person that just said it got an attitude. It's kind of like reading a text message, but worse. So the translator lady is just like, well, basically talking to Devin and saying, okay, you don't need to worry about it. I'm going to handle everything. I'm going to fix everything. And Devin's concern is, you said it, but you have not done it. And Jahan, I get that you frustrated, baby, but we can only go off of your actions. And your actions have shown that you don't follow through. That's been the problem I'm seeing in this relationship since the last time you were together. And y'all strike me if I'm wrong, but when I look at Ariela and Benny, I see two people who, they are very much in lust as well, but I do see people who care about each other. When I look at Devin and Jahan, I don't see any care or concern. I don't see any love or anything that they have for one another. I see two people who had a baby and they decided they were going to try and make it work. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Last season, did you see love? I don't see it with these two right now. So they're going back and forth with this translator. Devin is messing up her words, and so the translator thinks she said something about war. So now Jahan is real mad, because he was like, what the F are you talking about war for? Like, what are we talking about here? So she says to the translator, I believe that you recently got paid. Where's the money that you got paid? Didn't you get paid? And Jahan is upset that she's asking about his payment. Why is everything about money? Why are you asking me if I got paid? Because we need some money. What you mean? Somebody got to feed this baby. This milk ain't free. Unless, you know, it might be coming from the breast, but either way, I need sustenance to provide the breast milk. So what are you talking about? We need Pampers. We need wipes. Where's your check? Why are you asking me about money? So they're going back and forth again. The translator lady is basically just making it worse, if you ask me. They need a real live translator there, but they can't afford that. So what Jahan ends up telling her is, okay, I didn't have it all together, but I said I did because I wanted you to move here faster. Okay, so now the truth is out. Again, we're going by your actions. You didn't have any of this together. You weren't ready. You didn't have anything planned. You probably said that. I think Jahan said it because he wanted to see his baby. I think he wanted to be around his son. And what parent wouldn't want to be around their child? But my thing is, Jahan, this baby come with her. Okay, I don't know what else y'all got to get worked out for it to not come with her, but right now it comes with her. So you almost gotta just kind of go along to get along, just to get this situation right, so you can have your son around you. Is that right? Is it fair? Nope. It's not right. It's not fair, because you should be able to see your son regardless of what's going on between you and Devin. But the thing is, this is what happens when you have sex with people you barely know and you get them pregnant. All right, these are the type of things that happen. And I could say vice versa for Devin. This is what happens when you have a baby by a man child, okay, that you thought was gonna have all this stuff together, and he don't got nothing together. Meanwhile, you don't have anything to go back to. You've tried to put everything into this relationship. You've spent a whole lot of your money on a place that's barely big enough for the three of you. I don't know. I don't see it for this relationship. So they need to find a way to get that whole tourism thing going for the baby, so the baby can get over there to see Jahan during, you know, the baby's designated months. I don't know what else to do. I really don't, because what they're doing currently, this is not going to work. And Jahan, even if you didn't have a baby and didn't have a wife, you need to start working. You need to get it together. You need to grow up. You do need to do that. But y'all let me know what y'all thought. Like, comment, and subscribe. I hope I picked up in the right place for the video. And I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.